So before we start the video, I want to let you guys know that I do coaching. Coaching is going to be $50 a piece. It's going to last from 1 to 2 hours. All the coaching information is going to be in the description below. And I also have a Patreon if you want to support me further or just have access to all the coaching sessions. Subscribe for only $3.50 a month. Thank you guys. Enjoy the video. Alright, what's up guys? We are back. You guys saw my update video. I said that I was going to be starting to climb on my main account. So here's going to be the first video. Now what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to go over the game, talk about all the things that are important so that hopefully you guys leave this video learning a thing or two. Now, early game, I do want to get really aggressive on the Galio and see if I could cheese him and find an opening. So I'm going to try to create openings for that. And I'll show you guys how I do it, or at least what's going through my mind as I'm trying to set it up. Now the laning phase starts. I want to pop his bone plating like I said. I think in this matchup I can actually just pressure Galio level 2, and so I would love to hit level 2 before him. I want to try to like hit the minions and try to hit level 2 first, but it's pretty hard against Galio because he has his auto attack that does AoE and he has his Q that shoves pretty hard, while we only have auto attacks and Q. I mean, depending on how the Galio plays, maybe he'll give me level 2. Galio's push is pretty strong, so it's pretty hard to do that. You see he Qs the melee minions, and so he already has the push here. I still have yet to use my Q. Now here in this position, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna focus on farm and try to hit him with Qs, maybe try to warm him up here. So he's definitely gonna hit level 2 first. The wave's in a pretty good spot, right? The wave's like here. And so when the wave's here, I actually have so much room to work with to actually fight him, which is really good against Galio. And so what I have to do is try to hit level 2 as soon as possible, maybe burn a spell by him, level 2, or maybe bait to fight level 2. So while I'm level 1, maybe have him get aggressive and then try to go in on him. I'm autoing the minions and I hit one more melee minion and I'm gonna hit level 2, whereas he hits one melee minion and it's lower than mine. And so he's gonna hit level 2 first here. So he goes in level 2 because I'm still level 1. But as I'm hitting that minion, I hit level 2. So I'm like, okay, I have Conquer. I can probably just stick on him, right? So I start autoing him. And he ends up running away. Now, I kind of made one mistake here while going for this. So like here, he hits level 2. He hits me with the taunt. That's completely fine. He has Q and taunt. He's getting rid of one ability here so that it doesn't hinder me from actually just going in and just hitting my Conquer, right? So here, I just start autoing him. I throw out the Q, auto, he auto, pick up the dagger, and the mistake was right here. I ignited him. And what that does is he gets really scared and ends up starting to run away. So he ghosts away immediately. Whereas I felt like I should have kept baiting him into this fight and then ignite once I feel like I can secure the kill. You see my Shumpo is almost up, right? And so maybe it was better if I just kept autoing him and then auto, E-auto with ignites. And then maybe that would have secured the kill there. But me igniting too early made it so that he just kind of left the fight, and that was not good for me. Now I don't have ignite and I lack kill pressure. Now we have a Wukong gank, and so I'm gonna keep the wave here. I don't want to push. I just want this positioning of the wave to stay so that Galio has to walk up for farm. Also here on the minimap we see Master Yi bottom. Keep that in mind. Galio Qs, and again I'm just trying to like be around his space but not really touch the minions. I'm gonna hit level 3 here and Galio walks up for the cannon, and so that's our cue to fight, and I'm about to hit level 3 because that one melee minion is about to die. I auto, block, and he immediately flashes out, which is good. We burn both summoners. Galio is more exposed if we get aggressive on him. He doesn't have any summoners to get away. And so we remember Master Yi was bot, right? So I go for a very interesting play here. I Q, boom, Master Yi is right there. completely my fault. I burned flash and I died. So I straight up just inted that. Everything was going so well. Then I go and I int it. But yeah, we take the L. Now we go back into lane and we're going to be watching what's happening on the map. So here Wukong's fighting the Jace with the Shen. Nothing big happens. You always want to be watching what's happening in the other lanes, especially when you have downtime. When you're not doing anything running down the lane, you might as well look at other lanes, right? Yeah, we're just downloading information, seeing what we can do next. Right now, I'm not too strong. I have 2 long swords. I have 1 potion. I'm probably looking to just play the lane and farm. But let's try to download information as I play, right? So right now, when it comes to the wave's going to push into the Galio. So let's go for a slow push and let's keep the wave here as much as possible. And then once the wave gathers, we push it all together. And then the wave will bounce back. And so I'm waiting, going for the slow push. And then I start pushing. As soon as the wave comes in, I start hitting the minions. So we get a nice big crash. And also we have like 2 waves here. And so Galio is going to be stuck under this tower for a while. We'll take a look at bottom. We'll take a look at top. I mean, Wukong is top lane. So maybe there's some opportunity there. But we also want to look at bottom as well. We're going to hard shove this. Okay, get some poke on the Galio. That's fine. Make sure that this wave crashes. Sometimes they will just hold the wave. The thing is, this is a really big wave. And so when the wave is this big, you would normally think they wouldn't want to crash it. But when the wave, you can see our wave here. You look at the minimap, the wave is here, right? And so when the wave is there, then Galio only has to hold this for like a couple seconds. And so you really need to make sure that you're able to crash it and make sure that he doesn't freeze it. So I just kind of like walk up to him, make sure it doesn't get frozen. And then I walk around and look for a roam. Look for some wards. I am going bottom. If you see here, I'm looking bottom to see. We have Zeri that's really low. Maybe they'll overcommit. The thing is, I have time outside of my lane right now where I won't really lose anything. So we're just going to run down and see. And then if nothing happens or an opportunity doesn't come up, I'm just going to go back into lane. So here Jinx gets ignited. And look how low they are. So I'm like, okay, maybe I'll do something here. But if you see on the minimap right now, Galio is actually coming down. So I'm like, this might be risky. And our minion wave, bottom, isn't really pushed in. If this minion wave was pushed into the tower, I'd be like, okay, let's go. But this is going to take too much time. If we want to dive this safely, we want the wave to be under the tower, right? And so I'm just going to ping my team back. I think this is going to drag out for too long. Now I'm just sitting in the bush waiting for Galio to come and maybe just like keep him off, right? I still want to be around here because I caused Galio to roam down here. So I want to make sure that he doesn't just like roam and like engage on our bot lane. So we get the push, right? And I'm like, okay, guys, let's back. Because Galio's there. If we dive tower with Galio there, it's like really hard to actually avoid his like CC. And so I thought it was pretty dangerous. But this bloodthirsty Amumu wants to go in. I'm like, I'm like pinging him back right now, but he's like, I'm gonna go in. Let's go, let's go. And I'm like, okay, whatever. And so he goes in, kills the Zeri, and then Rakan's low, but Amumu dies. So I'm like, okay, you know, if I'm here, I might as well kill something, right? And so I go in. They kind of miss everything. And luckily, I was able to get out. Now, this is my only out here. Watch. I was praying that those golems were there. Because if it wasn't, then I might have just straight up died. But I did not want to go in on that play. That was a bad play in my opinion. Now, let's take a look at the mid lane. I'm just straight up backing here. I wanted to find like a sooner back, but I think this back here was soonest I can get safely. And the reason why I'm backing here is because the minions on his side are actually going to push into mine. And so he has more minions than me. So I'm safe to back here, and I just want to reset as soon as possible so so I get back into the lane as soon as possible. So essentially what I want is Galio is going to go mid lane, take this wave, and crash it into my tower. And I'm hoping that with this back, I get the sheen, I get the refill, and I make sure that I come back into lane with this wave. Now, we're still like level 4. Galio's push is still good right now, but he doesn't have that many items to push as hard as he can. And so, sheen, refill. I even like don't heal to full. I want to get here as soon as possible so I can get this EXP. Very important, get the EXP in the mid lane. You want to like always be getting as much minions and CS as you can. And so that was good. It was a good back. Now we're back on the map. Fresh, sheen, refill. This guy is backing. And so I'm like, okay, this is a good time for me to just hard shove and like do something on the map. So we're just going to hard shove it here. For moments like these where I want to just hard shove it, maxing Q, well, I guess I'm not maxing it. I'm only putting 3 points into it. But the reason why you do that is because when you're in a situation like this and you want to push it and crash it into the tower as soon as possible, you want the extra damage from your Q and you want less cooldown on your Q so that you can just shove it better. And there will be opportunities where you might need multiple Qs to shove in the wave. And so that's why 3 points into Q is pretty good. Some people ask me, why don't I max E? And I say, for this reason, pretty much. I mean, maxing E is good if you know that you're going to be fighting. And so when you're fighting, E max is good because you're putting multiple E's onto a combo. But in this situation, I'd rather just control the wave and then start maxing E from here. All right, now we're back in lane. And I'm just going to last hit this. Just going to keep the wave here because right now the wave's in a good spot. Katarina loves it when the wave is like right here because we're closer to the tower. And if we want to fight the Galio, we have so much room to work with, right? So this spot is good, but even then, it's a cannon wave. Even if I wanted to shove, it'd be pretty hard to shove it without potentially getting it frozen. And so I'm just gonna like stack a wave and maybe push in the next one. We could start slowly working on this wave, but we gotta see how Galio deals with the wave. So he actually just wants to shove too. I'm like, okay. I'm almost level 6. Maybe I could look for something. But because it's really dark on the sides, I'm like, I'm not going to overcommit. But I want to make sure that Galio doesn't find a roam somewhere because he is level 6, right? And so I'm just going to keep the wave here, but also like somewhat match his push. I don't want it to hard shove into my tower. So I'm just like touching the wave here. I just punished that just because I knew he didn't have E, so I knew I wasn't going to get hit for too much. Now here, the wave's even, but I'm looking to shove this because I don't want Galio to roam. So if I'm able to get the shove here, I'm chilling. Now I'm just going to start working on the wave as soon as it comes in and try to be safe about it and make sure that I don't get hit by any of Galio's stuff. If I notice Galio gets aggressive, then Massey is around. But based off of his posture in lane, I'm like, okay, I could just push this. I don't think Galio's gonna like engage on me or anything. I don't think he's baiting me. When you see here, if I like decide to push, right? Look at Galio's posture. He's just like leaning back and he's not really trying to do anything. It's almost like he's scared, right? And it might have been because if you look on the minimap, Amumu is actually out of vision. And so because Amumu is out of vision, maybe he thinks that Amumu is mid lane. And so just Amumu being in the river is giving me priority here. So I'm just able to push. Like Galio's not contesting me at all. So this is very good. And Amumu was coming mid. So if Galio did get aggressive, he was right to play safe here because Amumu could have been mid and we could have maybe tried to kill the Galio. Now after this shove, we have a lot of time to do stuff. But right now, I don't think there's anything to be done on the map. So I'm just going to ward the lane because I know that Galio might look for an ulti and I'm just going to back. I have 800 gold. I can go back and buy something and use my gold to be strong on the map, right? So I'm going to go back, get a Kindle gem. Now I did go for the back here because I did want to use my gold, but I think the timing was bad because they were getting the rift. So I should have known that maybe if rift was an option for them, that maybe I should have just stayed and we could have tried to fight here. But because I backed here, I couldn't be here for my team. And so we kind of just lose the rift right now. So if I just saw it coming prior, then maybe I wouldn't have backed and just like hovered around rift. Now they get the rift and I'm with my jungler right now. I go hit the plant and I go back into lane. But I'm like kind of seeing what my jungler does here, right? And so if my jungler wants to go in on the Yi, then I'm like, okay, I'll follow on this. I'll follow this call. I don't think it's a bad call. I just came back with a Kindle gem. I have all my gold spent and now I'm pretty strong. So I'm gonna follow this Wukong here. Now the one thing I have to know is that if we go on this Yi right now, we're gonna get collapsed. And we're looking for potential 3v3 here. Now Shen does have ult, so honestly, is not a bad play here. And if Yi is going to be going for the blue buff here, then we can pretty much get an engage. Now, if Yi just like walked away, that's fine. We just take the blue with the Wukong and we could leave. But Wukong gets aggressive, so I'm like, okay, I'm down to go in. Yi's not really that strong right now. He is 2-0 though. Galio throws out the ulti and Jace's Mia. What happens here is Shen actually goes bottom with his ulti. So it's actually a 2v3 here. But we see Yi is chunked at this point, so I'm like, okay, I just need to make sure I dodge this Galio ult. And once Yi gets out of it, I just flash over onto him and throw out the ignite. And now we get jumped on by 3. Well, let's see how this goes. Boom, we get 3 kills because me and my Wukong fought together. He had ulti, really good setup for me. So let's see how this played out mechanically. So then I walk up and Wukong immediately ults the Yi. So I'm like, okay, I'm down to go in now. But we know Galio is still a thing, right? And Yi is just getting really low, just off this Wukong ult alone. And so he's probably trying to disengage. And so he runs away. And so what I do is I flash E, W, ignites. And I make sure that I get the reset on him. And then Q, and then he ends up dying here. I E, and he dies to ignite. We hit the Galio with the E. Now I have all my abilities up again. Here, I QE and ulti. But then I feel like I should have placed my W here. That was kind of a problem. But I wanted to just burst down the Galio. And so I wanted to do my combo quick, and W isn't something that'll get me instant damage. So I just threw all my damage in hopes of Galio dying. Now, he actually ends up getting away. But the thing is here is that Yi actually had red buff. And so, because I have red buff, it procced onto the Galio, and he ended up dying here. Now I'm still hitting Jace with my ult. So as soon as he walks out of the ult, I pick up the dagger, my Q dagger, and I eat W. Now Galio ends up dying to my red buff, which is great. That was really lucky. And then I kill him with the eat W, and we get out. Now I have a triple kill. Honestly, really good. You just have to play around your jungler sometimes. If they make a play like this, it's good to just back them up, especially if you guys have the angle here. And so now we get back into lane, and I'm just looking to shove at this point and make sure it crashes. I have 1200 gold. I'm looking to spend my gold. And so I push the wave and I back and make sure the wave bounces back into me. Right now, bot lane is doing good. Shen was able to go bot. We were able to win the 2v3 over there in the jungle. And honestly, it's a big win for us. Really good time. And so we get back into lane, Galio pushes, and right now I can get the freeze. I have my divine. We're super strong, so I'm looking to play super aggro on this guy. And what I'm trying to do is just get really aggressive with my divine procs. Now, the wave's in a great spot. We were able to put it here, and it's because we got the wave to bounce back to us, and Galio couldn't push it fast enough. He made the mistake of just pushing when he should have just like stack 2 waves and then push it in, or else I would just get the freeze. So this is like an opening for me to punish this. So we're just chilling. I'm just hitting minions, not pushing. I want Galio to walk up for this. If he doesn't come here, he loses all the EXP, which is the great part about a freeze. And if he doesn't want to lose the EXP, he has to come up and walk up for it. And what I'm going to do is if he walks up for it, I'm going to jump in on him. Would be nice to ward, but I want to hold this freeze. Now, what I'm thinking is because I don't have any vision, what I'm going to do is if I jump in on the Galio, I can go for like a slow and safe combo and then just look to jump out if I need to. I'm gonna ward the side here. Now, I personally don't ward the side bushes like this because it doesn't give a lot of vision. But if you need vision in the moment right now, then that ward is pretty good if you don't have time. And you just need vision so that you can hug one side. I would at least know that Yi doesn't come from the top side and he's gonna come in from the bottom side. And so we could play around that. Here, I just pull the wave and make sure the wave's still frozen. Now we're just gonna look to pressure this guy. Set up the Q. Get rid of his bone plating. EW, hit divine. Q, E, hit more divines. E auto. We've hit 3 divines in that combo. Watch. We pull the wave and make sure the wave stays in this spot, okay? Q. EW, hit 1 divine. Q, E, hit 1 divine. And then hit the 3rd one right here. So it's important to use your E's like this. And make sure that you're getting enough divine procs for you to win the trade. Even if you're getting lower and lower, you're healing with a divine. So you can play pretty aggro like this. And now at this point, we just kind of scared him off, right? We see Wukong bottom. We're still trying to look at the map here. Because what we do to the wave here is important. And so, because my team is engaging bottom side, if you look at the mini map, I'm just going to hard shove this and try to punish Galio if he moves out of this lane. So I'm just going to hard shove from here. We don't know where Galio is right now. Ah, Galio comes back into lane. So we're going to ward just the sides because I still want to get aggressive on this guy, but I don't have time to like move out of the lane. And it was a pink. And so if I want to place a pink down on the river, I'd rather put it in that little tiny pixel brush. But I think putting the pink here is okay in the meantime because this will allow me to just get aggressive on the Galio. Yi more divine procs. Yi comes out, boom. The thing is, if Yi was positioned like in one of the bushes, I might have been caught out by Yi. But he's not in one of those bushes. So then if I go in for a trade like that and Yi comes out, well, not in those side bushes, then I could just jump out. I have time. And so these wards work good in this very position so that I can go in, get a trade, and just jump out if I need to. Now Yi's gonna help Galio shove. Now Yi flashes in, Shen ults, and I die. I did not see this coming, and he lived with 1 health, so I actually could have played this better. Alright, so let's take a look back at this, right? And so, I thought Yi was just coming to push the wave, but I guess as soon as I walked up into flash range, he like saw it as a kill angle. So he went in, immediately started hitting me. I'm like, oh shit, this caught me off guard. I didn't see this coming at all. And so I run, and I have my divine up. And so I hit the auto, Shen ultis. I pick up the dagger, and what I should have done here was maybe E away so that I don't get hit by the Galio. So I could have E'd maybe like right here, just so I can stay out of the range of the Galio. Maybe this wouldn't have hit me, but then because I got hit by the E, I couldn't do anything. It took too long on the E. And so the moment I get hit by E, I can't really do anything, right? I just die. And honestly, well played. I didn't see that coming. That was really aggressive. So it kind of threw me off guard. I end up giving a kill to Yi, and you never want to do that. But Jinx with the alley-oop. So we come back into lane. The wave is kind of shoving into Galio, so I just want this wave to crash. We're just going to crash it in, or Galio's just going to clear it. That's fine. We go for a little bit of poke because he was standing near the dagger. Now we see Master Yi here, and Wukong's there too. So maybe this is potential to do something. I like hover around him. And Master Yi is actually dropping the rift. Wukong sees that, so I'm down to collapse on this guy. This guy's kind of rifting in a weird spot, right? Do we collapse? And we just kill him. So that's really good for us. One little tip, I think from coaching my clients, I've noticed that a lot of people don't do this. And so, let's say we're trying to reach the Yi here. In this moment, what we can do is we can set up a Q on him. Now the way you set up a Q on him is by hitting him with the Q, right? And so how do we get into range of my Q? So what I do is I eat W onto the Wukong, get the reset with the W, and then I Q the Yi here so that I'm in closer position to hit the Q, and then I also get the E reset. So essentially what I'm doing is looking to hit Yi with the Q and the E. So E-W onto the Wukong, Q, and E. I get engaged, and I have my ulti here too. So I'm just gonna ult straight away. We have no magic mantle, and we're looking to go into our wits. Now we really don't have to be scared of Galio damage here. So we can play pretty aggressive. He is level 10, I'm level 9, but I'm gonna hit level 10 on this wave. Like really soon. Now we see Galio roaming bot here, and so what can we really do, right? Galio has ult. The only thing we could really do as a team is like get Shen to ult. Right, so that's exactly what's happening. Shen's ulting bottom if you see on the minimap, and Galio is ulting bottom as well. So what can I really do, right? Galio ults here on the minimap. All I do is just hard shove this lane, try to get my EXP mid lane, and try to just trade. Because if I push in this wave, Galio roams bot, I'm gonna make him lose this wave. So we're trying to trade essentially. When it comes to champions like these, where it's like TF, Galio, Pantheon, they have global ultis that pretty much just get them to anywhere on the map, right? And so like, what can we really do as Cat? As a mid lane, what we can do is just push in the wave and make sure they lose as much mid lane for like leaving the lane, right? So I'm just gonna hard shove this. I do want to see what's happening bottom though, just to be sure and be aware of what's going on. Now, if you see in the mid lane here, Galio is actually really low. He has no mana, and so he's pretty much useless if he stays in lane. So I want to keep him here. Make sure that he gets a really bad back. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to aggressively push the wave here. But make sure I set up. Oh, Galio ends up staying. That's perfectly fine for us. It's going to be useless in the next like 2 minutes, right? So essentially what's going to happen here, that I push in the wave, and he's going to have to farm this wave and then go for the back. So if we know this, then we can use that time while Galio's off the map to maybe make a play. And so we have him in a really good spot right now. We're just hard shoving this. And I see my jungler and my support like topside. So Master Yi holds mid. And I'm like, is Master Yi gonna go topside? Because I want to follow up on the Amumu if he does. But he ends up not. So I just come back into lane. And I just push. So we get the wave shoved out here. And I have a pretty decent amount of gold. So I want it back. But I get hit with the goon squad. Now, I didn't see this coming, honestly. So I got kind of punished for like pushing here. So I try to escape, but Yi does a lot of damage. Try to live with the divines and try to like get something to work. But honestly, nothing worked. Now I'm dead. Alright, so now my team's getting dragon. I'm just walking back into lane here, just looking to grab the wave. And we got to be pretty conscious of the Galio ulti here. Now, I want to look to go bottom. So, let Jinx stay mid, and I'm going to go bottom. Now, on the way bottom, Zeri's running away from the Wukong, so I'm like, okay, this is a free kill. And here, she just dies. Boom. You get more gold. This is great. So here, I kill the Zeri, and Wukong actually ends up farming bottom. So I'm like, okay, I think I should stick around the Jinx here just to make sure that she doesn't get engaged on and that she's able to farm safely. So I just use this pink that we have and just sort of chill in this bush and make sure everything is okay. Kind of just babysitting her at this point to make sure she gets the farm. So this is also important to do, just hovering around. When there's really nothing to get on the map here, right? Now, walking into this jungle, I see the Yi. So I'm like, okay. Zeri's dead. Jace is dead. Galio's showing mid lane. And so, this might be an angle to get aggressive, right? Now let's see. I roam down. If you see, Master Yi is level 9. And Wukong is level 12. So I'm like, okay, this might just be a dive straight up. Like, no one's going to be here, right? So I go down. I'm looking to pressure. He immediately goes in. Kind of messed that up, not gonna lie. I thought Yi was gonna straight up commit onto the Wukong, so then when he Qs, I thought just ulting here would have been fine. But he actually just ran away here. So maybe EWing onto him would have been better. But chasing after this also is a little bit dangerous because Zeri just spawned. So I guess it's fine as long as we get the tower. I mean, that's essentially why we're here anyway. So as long as we get the tower, it's a win. But I do use my ulti here. We got him to run away and he used ulti. Zeri's here. And now, oh no, Jace is here. So I'm like, okay, well, let's look at the people on the map right now. Amumu's top lane, Shen's top lane, but he has ulti. Jinx is mid with the Galio. I'm like, okay, this might be a little bit scary here. I'm gonna run up away from the Jace. Now, I kind of stagger here because if Jace goes in on the Wukong, I should help him. And so Jace actually jumps in and I'm like, okay, I'm down to jump in too. Let's go. Get some divine procs, another divine proc. I get CC, Shen ultis. Now just watch. Divine's just OP, right? This is why Divine is so good. So I want to highlight here, like the Divine usage. It's important to play around your Divine. Very important. If you see my runes, I have Ingenious Hunter, right? And so with the Ingenious Hunter, it just made this play, essentially, because you're cutting down the time of your Divine. So when you do your combos too, you want to make sure that you're doing combos that hit Divine, right? So watch. Watch how many Divine procs I get. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Jump out. So in that whole sequence, I made sure I got as much Divine procs as possible. And so let's go over the combo here, okay? Here, EW, Q, E, auto E auto. Then I get CC'd, I W away, okay? And Yi's hitting me, so I'm like what do I do? I'm just gonna run and try to distance myself. Now, this sets up a dagger, and the moment Yi gets out of his alpha, I'm able to jump in on that dagger, right? And just avoid being in his range. So here, as soon as he gets out, E, get the Divine onto the Zeri, set up a Q, and then walk away from the Yi, and I have the dagger set up too. So I hit the second Divine here. So that's Q, walk away, E, and then E, and just jump away. Try to make sure Yi doesn't kill me, because I really didn't want Yi to kill me there. So I just ran away. Even if I could have gotten kills, it's fine. I'd rather just not flip it and make sure I keep my shutdown. So at this point, we backed, we got our wits end, and we're going into our Randuins here. And so I want to regroup with the team, and we're going to chill around Baron. Now, Wukong wants to do Baron straight up, and I'm like, okay. The one thing here that might be a little bit dangerous is that Shen doesn't have ulti, and he's splitting bottom. So if you see, he's pinging 20 seconds. That's when Shen ulti is going to be up. So right now, we're just hitting the Baron. It might be a little bit too rash. If we wanted this to be a higher percentage play, maybe we should have waited a little bit. Set up the waves a little bit in the top and the mid lane, make sure they're pushing, and then maybe go for the Baron. Right now, we're really strong. So maybe we could just like force this fight and win, right? We're hitting. And I'm just going to let you watch the play. Boom. Quadra kill. Now let me walk you through how that played out. So obviously I want to keep myself at a good range. I don't want to get focused. I don't want to go in too early because I don't want to get like CC'd to death by Galio. So I have things to watch out for. I also got to be careful for the Yi. He's kind of strong. So here, we also want to watch what our team has. Amumu has ulti. Wukong has ulti. So it's good for me to follow up on those more so that I'm able to get my damage off a little bit more guaranteed, right? So Rakan goes in, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna hide in the back. And the good thing about this is that when I use my Q here, I can perfectly stay back here behind the pit. And if I need to go in, I just jump in on the dagger and then I engage, right? Now here, just sitting away from the Galio ulti. I just want to make sure that I don't get hit by any damage, right? Or any CC. So Galio ults. Jinx flashes away, and I'm like, okay. I'm still going to wait a little bit. Amumu ults. And Wukong goes in and follows up. So I'm like, okay. Jumping on the dagger now. Eat W ult. I get knocked away. It's fine. The backline, their backline with Rakan, Jace, and Zeri are kind of retreating at this point. And I want to make sure that Yi dies in this fight. And so I walk up straight into him. E, auto, Q. And this Q is important because this Q allowed me to jump in, get damage, get my reset, and then set up more daggers, right? So this is going to put me in a good spot, but also deal damage around me. And so here, E, and this dagger spins, hits Rakan, and I set up the Q. And now the Q is set up right in the middle of them. And Wukong is able to ulti onto 3 of them, and I get a perfect follow-up with this. So then I kill the Rakan here, and then I see Jace flash away, so I'm like, W, E, and this is cool too, because leaving the W back here will allow me to jump back into that position, and then I could follow up onto the Zeri. So then I W to get into range, because I don't need W here to kill her. I just E, get the Divine proc, ult. Make sure she dies, fuck it, why not? Why not just ult, right? Now we get the free Baron. Everyone's off the map. Ooh, actually only 4 of them. Galio's topside, and so because everyone's dead, and Galio's topside, Shen's pushing in bot, I'm just gonna push in mid. Now look, in hindsight, I feel like I should have just stuck with the Shen here. I think Wukong and Jinx can both just get the Baron on their own, so I'm like, I might as well just start working on these towers, right? But I've noticed that Shen actually didn't get much bottom. Didn't even get the tower. So I felt like maybe I should have just stayed mid. And staying for this inhibitor is kind of dangerous. We can get the tower, but not the inhib. So what I should have done was not split the pressure and just go bot with Shen. And then maybe we could take the inhib together. But we end up not getting any inhibs off of that. But what's nice is that they surrendered. And it is just a good time. I actually forgot they surrendered. But yeah, good game. Hope you guys learned something from this. So this was just my commentary here. I hope you guys enjoyed this and learned something. And I'll see you guys in the next climbing video. Peace out. Thank you guys for watching. Again, I do coaching. All the information is down below. And if you want to check out my other videos, then totally can. Totally should. And yeah, see you guys next time. You can go now. Click one of these.